Snapping turtles are probably one of the hardest animals to film, simply because they are heavy, they are thrashy, and that massive, massive head full of muscle with those scissor-like jaws means that this animal can inflict a really nasty bite. He is angry. Look at how angry this turtle is. Ooh, don't bite yourself, buddy. Don't bite yourself.
That bite is exactly why I'm filming this video. Around the southeast United States, the common snapping turtle is a fearsome sight. These enormous reptiles are portrayed as vicious, aggressive monsters, and where I live, people kill them on sight. Their bite, which is where they get their name, is their main weapon for hunting fish and frogs in their freshwater habitats. But it's also a cunning defense mechanism. From the tiniest insect to the largest of reptiles, animals in nature need ways of defending themselves to help them to survive in the wild. So my question is, how often does a snapping turtle actually snap? And will it attack a human unprovoked?
I'm not super uncomfortable handling these turtles. In fact, first time I ever caught a snapping turtle, I was a lot more excited than I was scared. The problem is here, I really need to keep my wits about me because animals like a snapping turtle who are powerful, packed with muscle, and can deliver a really menacing bite, if you get complacent, you're gonna get bit. So I need to find a balance between my excitement and comfort in handling this animal, but also a healthy amount of respect to make sure I'm not getting the turtle too close to my face or fingers. What you're looking at is the apex predator of this stream ecosystem. This is a shallow stream, so you can guarantee there is nothing bigger than him living in this area, except possibly slightly larger snapping turtle. Now, one thing you're probably noticing is now that he's just kind of chilling here on my knee, he's totally calmed down. The vicious, repeated snapping and scratching that this turtle was doing when I first picked him up off of his little basking spot by that mud pit is completely gone. In nature, everything is about conservation of energy. He realizes I'm not actively messing with him right now, so I'm probably not a threat. And he's also wondering probably when can he get back to hunting for fish and frogs in the stream.
Before I can release him, I need to test and see how aggressive he is. Already, he's shown that he can calm down when held gently on my knee, but if I leave him unrestrained next to my face, will he go for the death blow or stay relaxed on the ground?
I am inches from this turtle. Now, this is about as close as I'm comfortable getting my face. My hand, I can get a little bit closer. Oh, look at his eye, he's watching me. Now, as you can see, I'm not touching him, I'm not messing with him, and he is not coming after me. In fact, I could even just touch his shell here, and while he doesn't like that too much, you can touch his shell, I can touch him, I can poke him. As long as my hand is not in that strike range and I'm not lifting him up or causing him any distress, he's not gonna attack me. Now, it's probably a no-brainer. You don't wanna be tagged by a snapping turtle. You're not gonna lose a finger. Their bite force is not strong enough to bite through human bone. However, if you watch this, you can see just how fast that head can move. And if your fingers are anywhere in that strike range, he will grab them and you're gonna get a serious cut. Now, what I'm worried about more with a snapping turtle bite is gonna be infection, not amputation. These guys live in all kinds of muck, all kinds of stagnant water. They're usually covered in bacteria and other microorganisms, which means a bite from one of these guys, even a scratch, these cuts on my hands will need to be treated immediately when I get back in the house, because a cut or a bite from this turtle can result in a nasty skin infection, and we do not wanna have that. I'm a lot less afraid of a snapping turtle than I am of something like a centipede or a wolf spider. Not because this guy couldn't do me more damage, but because they're pretty easy to predict and they're pretty slow moving and easy going most of the time. Now, clearly, if you mess with this turtle and take a bite, or if you mess with this turtle and get clawed, clearly that is a form of danger, but that is the turtle defending itself. See, when I pick up the turtle, I am putting this turtle under stress. And this guy has every right to defend himself if I'm putting him under stress. That is my fault. That is me harassing this animal. But notice the difference here. I've left him a foot away from my face, and sure enough, what is he doing? He's turning around, he's walking away from me, and he's heading down this little slope towards the creek. All he wants to do is get back in the water and away from me. In no way is this turtle trying to attack me or cause me any harm. He just wants to get right back in the water where it's nice and cool and he can hunt for fish and frogs. This is not a display of aggression. I just happen to be in his way, going back down into the creek. See, he's going right past me and going down. Let's get you back to shore. Oh boy, all right. Get you back to shore. We're not quite done with you yet. Oh, those claws are really going. Oh man, look at that mouth. Look at that mouth. He is incredibly unhappy with me right now. I'm getting my hands completely out of the way. Oh man. As long as I'm not reaching underneath his shell, which is probably the best way to pick these guys up. You can use the tail, but it can hurt them. So I always try to pick them up underneath the shell right here. And watch, if I grab underneath the shell, he's immediately in defense mode. He knows that is not a place he wants to be touched. Underneath his shell, he is vulnerable. Unlike most turtles, snapping turtles cannot tuck all the way inside their shell. So there's lots of exposed, vulnerable flesh underneath here. When I grab here, he is threatened. He knows this guy's found my weak spot. I'm in trouble. But if I touch here, notice, complete different behavior. He's walking back that way and he is trying to get back into the water. And we don't want you to go that way because we're not done with you yet, buddy. I know. Look at this, see? When I grab him underneath the shell, he is in a frantic scurry. His claws are going, his jaws are snapping, and oh man, he is aggressive and he's musking all over me. If there's one thing that smells absolutely terrible, it's snapping turtle musk. Nothing smells quite as bad, but this guy is not having it.
If you look at the way the turtle behaves in our interaction, you'll see an animal that wants to get back to the water, but doesn't want very much to do with me. If this reptile was aggressive, he had more than enough opportunities to charge me and attack, but he still chose to sit down or wander back towards the creek. Even though I'd say from an aggression standpoint, the snapping turtle isn't very dangerous, this is still not an animal you want to mess with when you see one in the wild. Just like any other animal, they are keen to defend themselves if they feel threatened, so make sure to admire from a safe distance. Snapping turtles are such a fascinating creature to come across and catch, and if you thought this encounter was crazy, try this on for size. I caught a wolf spider and extracted its venom so I could see its reaction with blood. If you want to see that video, click right here, but until then, don't forget to get outside and find your own adventure.